Okay guys, welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about this saw. When it comes to silky saws, this is probably my favorite saw. And it probably gets used the most out of all my silky saws. And why is that? It's because it's the one I tend to have with me. I don't carry this every day, but because of its small compact size, this one is the one that I throw in my pocket if I think I need a saw. This is the one that's in my toolbox. This is the one that it will probably be in my truck if I need to cut something. This is a perfect little day pack or a pack saw, a day hike saw, a hiking saw, somewhere that you don't anticipate needing to cut a lot of wood, but maybe you want the capability to cut some small diameter small diameter wood to use with a emberlit stove or some type of stove like that, where you don't need large chunks of firewood. You just want some small 1 inch, 2 inch, maybe 3 inch diameter logs, and then at that point maybe you'll baton it or split it with a small hatchet or an axe. Size wise, when you pick it up, you won't have that much good things to say about it. You'll feel like you're going to be hindered by its small size. You feel like the small size is going to be a large handicap. It's going to hold you back, it's going to slow you down. Now I won't say that's completely false, because it's just simple physics. You do have a shorter blade. So with each stroke, I counted, there's 40 teeth on this blade. So every stroke, you're using 40 teeth to cut through the wood. Larger saws have a bigger stroke. This saw here has large teeth. I got medium teeth in this one. Why did I get medium teeth? So personally, I haven't tried the large tooth Pocketboy 130. The reason I got medium teeth though is, at least what I found, is the smaller the tooth size or the finer the tooth size, the easier it is to start. So once you get into cutting, I'm sure the larger teeth might cut slightly quicker, but I found that especially with a small crafting saw on small diameter wood, I've tried using large tooth silkies and they like to skate around. They're kind of hard to get started. And I don't own that many medium tooth, fine tooth silkies, so in this one I thought a medium tooth would be perfect. I don't think there's that much difference between the small tooth or the medium tooth and the large tooth. I think this is like an 8.5 TPI and the large tooth is a 7. So you're only getting slightly larger teeth. What I would recommend if you're debating between the two in the Pocketboy is find whatever one's cheaper. Don't ask me why, but sometimes one tends to be $5-10 cheaper than the other, and it always varies. The handle for me, and I have pretty large hands, is nearly perfect. My whole hand rests on the rubber. I was afraid when I first bought this that I would be like squeezing the lever right here and it being super tight. But for me, it's a very comfortable saw. It's just big enough. The handle's just big enough without being too big for a fine craft type saw. What would you use this saw for? I already talked about it: day hiking, maybe a hunter to clear some shooting lanes. If you pair this with a small pair of hand pruners, hand snippers, it doesn't take up a lot of pack space, and you'll only use the saw maybe, who knows, a handful of times. You don't need a large saw. So hunters, maybe you could keep it in a tackle box if you're out fishing. Don't ask me why, but maybe you want to cut up a couple pieces of firewood, make a small fire to cook some of the fish that you just caught. Another idea is a survival kit knife, and I'm talking like a survival kit that's compact, that fits in a pouch, that fits in a fanny pack, something compact that you throw within like a hunting bag. So more of a medium-sized or a compact survival kit. This is fairly compact, so I think it wouldn't weigh you down that much. It wouldn't make the survival kit too much heavier. I want to say this only weighs about 3 or 4 ounces. Understand, it is small, and many people think that's the downside. It is and it isn't. It really depends on what you want the saw for. Just like with a hammer, a sledgehammer technically has more capability than a finishing hammer or a claw hammer. But the thing is, you don't want that large sledgehammer to pound in fine finishing nails. Conversely, you don't want that small claw hammer to use to chip away concrete or to do demolition work. So it really comes down to picking the right saw, picking the right tool for the job. If you find yourself cutting very small diameter sticks and small diameter wood to make small fires, or you're cutting some limbs to make some type of shelter, and maybe around you you don't have that much large diameter wood, but you have a lot of the smaller diameter like squaw wood, a smaller saw might be better for you. One advantage a small saw does have, especially when it comes to silky saws, is it has a more rigid blade. So this blade is 1.3 millimeters thick and the kerf is 1.4, but if you can see, it doesn't have a lot of flex, which is a good thing, because the problem, if I could give a downside to silky saws, one of its biggest drawbacks is the longer the blade you get, that longer blade is unsupported. So if you're going through especially a sappy wood like pine, there's a lot of friction buildup, and that sap will stick to the blade, and over time you might pinch your blade. So for example, on the Gomboy here, you're sawing, this has happened to me multiple times, and you'll saw and it'll buckle one way or the other, because this has a lot more flex. You can see there. This one, same thickness of blade, a lot less flex. This would also be a perfect saw to combine with a large buck saw, a large bow saw, or like a large Silky or Corona fixed blade saw, like a Sugawaza, a Zubat, a Gomtero, and a couple other Silky saws, Corona razor cut 13 and 14 inch saws, or like a takedown buck saw, like a Bob Distruti takedown buck saw. Hope you guys liked the review. If you guys did, feel free to give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't already, go back to my homepage, watch some of my current videos. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.